All right, let's jump right back into part 2 of our interview with Dr. Aissa McGirl.
What are ways I can reduce some of my stress and some of my anxiety? What recommendations would you give them outside of, working less hours or ending that relationship or because the wrong relationship can stress you out too. The wrong job, toxic work environments can give you stress. What are some ways that they can reduce stress and anxiety on their own that they can start to process, after watching this show?
I think after doing all those other things, because I think those things need to be addressed first.
I read a book about sleep. Now the book almost put me to sleep, but it was a good book, and it made me realize how important sleep is, and I used to pride myself, in college, I can get 4 or 5 hours sleep and keep going, but it actually takes years. It can lead to dementia. It can lead to, look at the presidents of the United States. When they get into the White House, they normally have, colored hair, and then a couple of years, stress and lack of sleep, they're all gray and they've aged like 10 years.
Yeah.
So stress can, not getting a lot of sleep can habit. It can cause you to gain weight, not lose weight, cut off years of your life. And so when I learned that, it was a game changer. I don't get anything less than 8 hours of sleep after reading that. No, let me back up. Seven.
Yeah.
When I don't get 7, I can feel it in my body. I can feel it. I can tell.
Definitely. What was the book called?
Why We Sleep.
I read that book. So it's like blackish purple, I think.
Yes, Michael Knight or something?
I think I read that book. I love that book.
Matthew Walker.
I don't remember the author, but I remember that book.
So I started to read it and I was like, let me set myself up for success. I went to Audible and then I started to listen to it. And it took about 3 weeks to get through it because I wanted to listen to it, learn it, and apply it. And it changed how I do life. I was like, nope, gotta get my 7 hours. And I told my parents, listen, y'all need to get y'all sleep. We don't want dementia. We don't want Alzheimer's. We gotta, all of this. So it's a really good book. What was your takeaway from it?
Pretty much the same thing. I've always been the person that I'm going to bed, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. But now I'm just like, after a certain time, don't even talk to me because I'm going to bed. You need that 8 hours to recover. Like I'm all about recovery. So what would it be like if I just said I don't sleep that much? It's such important, and we all need it.
Yeah. So we were talking about reducing stress and anxiety. Besides all the other things that we said, sleep and eating proper foods and drinking water, or is there anything else? Any type of stretching? Any type of movements? Any type of? I feel like when I'm talking to you, I feel not that you're judging me, but I'm just trying to make sure that I have the right posture. Because every now and then when you're talking, I get comfortable and I'm like, oh. I'm a physical therapist. Let me watch my posture.
Okay, before I answer that question, can we talk about what this good posture is? And by the way, you're good because I can barely see you because I'm on my phone and you're like this little on my screen, so I can't even see you. So don't even gotta worry.
Okay.
So posture. So posture is the state that we rest in. So we were typically taught this good posture is this state of like chest straight up, looking straight ahead, trying to get your shoulder blades down and back.
Yes.
What that does is it essentially causes a lot more extension in our spine, which is kind of like that sympathetic response. So in kind of doing this good posture that we taught was good posture, it's uncomfortable for us, but it kind of teaches us to be in this state of extension, sympathetic response.
Right.
So when I say good posture, I'm talking about having like your rib cage stacked on top of your pelvis. In that position, your diaphragm is able to contract fully, and it's going to allow your rib cage to expand and compress. In doing that, you're able to move freely and fully. So throughout the day, when I say good posture, you want to try to keep some height in your spine, but you want to have maybe some tension in your belly, but you want to take full breath. So kind of what the original question was one of the things that you could do throughout the day is simply just breathe.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. It's all the rage. Everybody's breathing now.
No, but it does help though. It does help. And I used to think with this foo talk, oh, just breathe in for it. I'm a I know, but it means different when you do it when you need it. Yeah. I am stressed out. I'm in traffic. I'm supposed to be there at a certain time. This red light won't go. Let me just breathe. And it does something.
Yeah.
It does something.
Yeah. So when I say breathe, I know a lot of us were taught to do this like diaphragmatic breathing into your belly. But what that does is it's causing us to let everything fall forward, and it's somewhat causing that extension in our spine. So when I do say breathe, one, always breathe in through your nose. Don't breathe through your mouth. We're not mouth breathers. We always breathe in through our nose. And when you breathe in, you want to have minimal tension through your neck. So make sure when you are breathing, you're not, that's just going to reproduce that stress response. So slow, effortless breath in, and then try to get a full exhale. So when you're breathing in, you're going to get air all through your rib cage, also your belly, but we don't want all that air going into your belly. It's going everywhere. And then get all of that air out. So we're really focusing on that exhale because that's that parasympathetic rest and digest response that we're trying to achieve. So we're stressed, we're trying to rest and digest, we're trying to feel a little bit better. So in states of stress where you're irritated, anxious, take 5 deep breaths, slow exhale, get all of that air out, minimal tension through everywhere. Try to do that as long as you can, and then go about your day.
I love it. Now I was doing that while you were talking. I feel so relaxed now. So I really want to go back. I love that you gave that example because I feel like that's something we can do wherever we are. Before we move on, are there any other things like that or stretches or exercises that we can do to kind of minimize some of the stress and anxiety that we're feeling that you give your clients to do that we can kind of incorporate into our daily activities?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that I just started incorporating for my clients and patients is just simple laying on the ground and just rolling. So I probably can show you a little bit later, but I literally just put my leg or my client's leg on a foam roll and they just roll the leg back and forth. And what that does is just loosens up some of those tension muscles so that they're moving with less tension. So when you move, you're able to move with the joint that you're intending it to move, not just throw your body forward. I'm sure you've seen like people, let's talk about a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders, they have a lot of mass, they have a lot of muscle, but they move like refrigerators. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they move like refrigerators. They can't rotate, they just move with tension. So what this is doing, what'd you say?
They look stiff.
Yeah, they're just stiff and just full of tension. So this kind of teaches you to move without tension, and tension is why we're getting a lot of these problems in the first place. So we just try to reduce some of the tension. I have like this foam roll.
Yes.
So pretty much you're just laying on your side. So in order to reduce any neck tension, you might want to use a pillow. I'm just gonna put my arm right here. My bottom leg is straight, and this leg is just resting on the foam roll. And I'm just rolling back and forth as I'm just breathing in through my nose, nice and slowly. And really, I'm not doing much at all. And it's just reducing my tension just because I'm moving nice and slow. I'm moving one part at a time as I'm breathing.
So you're releasing stress where, or tension? Are you releasing tension in your lower back, shoulders?
So that one's more for your hip area, but you're going to be getting some motion from your lower back as well. So you're just teaching your muscles, they're moving, but they're moving with less tension.
Gotcha.
So if it moves like this, it's going to have a hard time, but if they're able to kind of just lengthen and relax, they're able to move a little bit better.
Any other stretches that kind of work with the shoulders? Because I know sometimes if I'm typing a lot or I'm editing or I'm looking at my computer, I'll start to feel tension in my shoulders and in my wrists. Or is there any type of exercises that we could do on our own in between the day when we're feeling tense and stuff, besides just getting up every 20 or 30 minutes?
Yeah. So everybody's body is going to be different. So everybody's body is going to compensate at different areas. In general, if we're getting a lot of stiffness up here, we might be breathing with our neck, kind of like what I talked about before. So taking those diaphragmatic breaths, getting your rib cage to expand, it's going to relax some of those shoulder muscles as well. Another good thing that you could do throughout the day is literally just take your hands, reach them forward, and again, getting full breaths in. You're going to get some air into the front of your chest, and making sure you're not letting your shoulder blade come up towards your ears. A lot of us, we do this little tension up towards our ears, and that's going to cause a lot of that upper trap tightness, headaches, things of that sort. So you're just reaching forward and you're just breathing in this position, full breaths in and out.
Through your nose.
In through your nose. You could breathe out through your mouth or out through your nose, whichever one you want to do. So your feet are going to be on the wall, 90-degree angle. So again, same breathing pattern. What you're going to do is slightly tuck your hips under and lift your knees up towards the ceiling. You're going to feel your hamstrings kick in. So right here, your belly is all off. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to breathe in this position. So this is going to teach your body to anchor your pelvis to the ground and just get full air in through your chest. And just like that.
You know, that movement right there reminds me when I was an educator for 20 years, and I work with, students that had challenges during the day. So they would come into my office, and after I used to teach classes at the end of the day, my fitness classes, I would have my clients, I work with teenagers and college students, I would have them put their feet up against the wall. And so they kind of make an L position.
Yep.
And they would lay their hands out and they close their eyes and they would just breathe, and it just relaxed them so much. And it also did some of my students that came in, they were just on level 10. And put your feet up on the wall and just lay your arms out. And if you're still mad, curse under your breath, but just don't let me hear it. And it just kind of calmed them down. I don't know what was in that magic, I don't know what was in it, but it did. It's a really good relaxing position.
And what made you do that?
From yoga. I used to be a yoga instructor, but with my boys, I didn't like using the term yoga. So I would just say, we're going to do some stretching. We're just going to do some after we finish working out. And it was just a lot of the stretching poses. And so after the workout, they would do that position against the wall. And when it was hot, in Texas is hot, in the gym that I train in, there's no AC. So,
oh God.
No, I love it. But, that's why we had my classes early in the morning. But they'd be laid out. I would turn the lights off in the gym, and then I would go around and I would place paper towels on their foreheads. That was the best part of their workout. Mm-hmm. And if I forgot, they'd be so mad. Where's my towel? But so that position kind of helped me. They can do that at home,
Exactly.
Can you?
That's a really good one to add into like a morning and night routine. That's another good way to just reduce stress. It's just a morning and night routine.
Absolutely. Can you show the first one again so we can see? Because you said to extend your leg, the one you used with the foam roller, so we can see what that extended leg looked like. I just kind of want to give them a visual. Yeah. And can you explain once again, what is this good for?
So this is just reducing tension. So this is teaching you how to move with minimal tension so that your hips and your pelvis are just a little bit more loose.
Okay.
And you're just breathing while you're doing this, nice and slow.
Okay.
All right, so my self-care, in the morning, I have a 19-month-old, so, and she just reached, I thought it was a terrible 2, but I guess it's the terrible 19 months, so.
What's her name?
Gianna.
Okay, I like that name. Awesome.
Oh, thank you. So it's been a little hectic because I do like all of like my stuff while I have her.
Yes.
So in the morning, I wake up at about 7 and I just go right to like a little morning routine. So in my morning routine, I'm kind of just reducing some of my tension, just focusing on my breathing, so I'm able to just start my day. So I genuinely enjoy like learning and doing what I do.
Yes.
So I find that fun, but I also know that it can get stressful at times. So what I try to do is just give myself little breaks and kind of just do something fun or kind of like mindless throughout the day. So throughout the day, I'll just go to the gym. That's one of my sources of relief. I do a lot of alternating movement because it helps me just relax and reduce some of my tension. But also just going on walks, being in the sun, and like I have my morning routine, I have my night routine as well. And then I'm trying to be really good with just turning off after a certain point in the night. So just I do like my face routines. I try to do like my hair, my eyebrows all at night and just watch TV because it's pretty mindless.
Yes.
And then just get my recovery sleep.
What does your soul care look like? How do you take care of your soul?
I think I'm really, really passionate about what I do. So when I say like soul care, like taking care of my body and learning these things and being present with my family and just enjoying every day is soul care to me. So my goal to just fulfill my soul is just to literally enjoy every day and just wake up, be happy, feel good.
Yeah.
And right now it's a little rough because I got a toddler at home and we're in Florida. We don't have like a support system out here. But I think what I'm doing right now, it really just fuels my soul because I love helping everybody just feel better. I love teaching other people. Like, no, this isn't it. You could still do more. There's other things out there. This isn't your last resort. So I think this really just fuels my soul.
Yeah, I can feel your passion. You talk about teaching and learning. Anyone that learns on their own has to be passionate about it. So life happens, we can make all the plans and want to do all the things, and then stuff happens. So how do you show up if your soul care or your self-care are neglected? How do you show up as a mom, as a partner, as a coach, as a therapist?
Yeah. So this morning, I had my daughter. She was a little, let's say playful, very playful. So I had a little bit of a rough morning. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I'm going to be so like everywhere flustered. What I did, I went to the gym, I rolled around, I worked out, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
So just taking that second, minute, hour, however long you have to just take care of yourself, recover, rest so that you're able to go back into it. So I find a lot of the times that I'm go. I just want to keep going. And then I feel like those are the times where I just start slipping. It's so important to just listen to your body and say, hey, stop. Do something for yourself, recover, then go.
Yeah. What I hear you saying is that your body and your soul respond to movement. When you're feeling, whatever, like you said, down energy wise, it seems like what I hear you saying is your body needs to move. What that means to you is your body needs to move. Am I right on that assumption or that?
Partly. Okay. So when I say I need to move, there's two different types of movements that I'm talking about. So there's like the restorative, like the parasympathetic movement, just getting things to just calm down regulate. And then there's like the other type of movement that I like enjoy doing, like the fitness stuff like that. So sometimes it's not necessarily, it can be good. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. If you're in this like fight or flight response, like you're just in this like chronically go state, and then you go to do a workout, your muscles aren't gonna respond the way that you want them to respond. Your muscles aren't going to work. Your body isn't going to move how it's supposed to move because you're going to have this built up tension in some of these muscles. So sometimes it's good to down regulate before you start to do some of those other things. So today I down regulated first before I did my other movement, so that my movement that I'm doing, it's beneficial for me, not just beneficial for my body, but not just beneficial for my mind, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So tell us about the Sculpt You app. It's empowering, educating, and elevating women's mental, physical, and emotional health. What does that mean?
It's the best thing out there. So we have a functional nutritionist. We have, I think the other nutritionist that we have is a functional nutritionist as well. But they have a hormone health meal plan, they have an allergen meal plan, and they have just like a regular meal plan. So there's 3 different meal plans that you could follow. There's workouts in there. There's warm-ups. I design the warm-ups. The workouts are designed by the owner of the company, Katrina. There's also a dance section in there. There's yoga. There's so much stuff, and there's also like prompts and stuff for like self-care, mental health. So what I love about it, it's holistic. It's incorporating all these things that I talk about, and it's affordable. So it's only $9 a month.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And they can just go to the Instagram at the Sculpt You, click on the link, information on there. Okay, perfect. Now, for those watching this interview and they're like, oh, you know, I want to work with her. I want to learn more from her. Do you do virtual training and virtual consulting, and can they work with you virtually? Okay.
Yes. Okay. So most of the work that I do is virtual. You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Easa Maria. So you could find me there. There is a link in my bio that leads to my consult site. So it talks about my holistic fitness coaching. So I go through pretty much like all these questions that I've talked about before, kind of just painting a picture of how your life is, and then seeing how you move, and then kind of tie it together so that I can give you the program and help you move to your best ability and feel to your best ability. And I also take into consideration that there's people who are starting from ground zero. There's people who are, maybe things hurt a lot. And then there's people who just feel okay, but they just want to feel better. So everybody's program is going to be really different because everybody moves different, their lifestyle is different. And those people who maybe have like just a little bit more layers of stress, compensations, they may need a little bit more time. So I take all of those things into consideration.
As we wrap up, do you have anything coming up, any workshops, any webinars that are coming up that people can participate in, that they need to kind of move with urgency because it's coming up?
I do plan on doing within the next month or so, just a regular Zoom call to just participate in why we have pain.
Okay.
And I also have a challenge going on right now, just 6 simple exercises that you could do for 21 days, just to improve just like your baseline mobility and just help you feel better.
I love it. And so how do people know when you're going to go live? If they follow you, do they get alerts, notifications?
I don't go live all too much. I do in the Sculpt You. On the Sculpt You Facebook group, I go live every other week. I do have like newsletters that go out.
Okay.
If anybody's interested, they could just drop their email on my Instagram page, and I just give you more information. On my Instagram page, I post so much stuff about all this stuff. It's just so much education that I'm just putting out there. So I think that's a really good place to start if you're just interested in learning more and more about this stuff that I'm talking about.
Yes, I definitely think that y'all should head on to her Instagram page because it does. She posts reels every day that kind of give you more insight to her wealth of knowledge in all that she does. So you definitely want to start following her today. So is there anything that we did not talk about that you want to discuss before we wrap up?
So I just want to say to everybody, like, we're only getting older. Just take the steps to just take care of yourself. You're going to enjoy it longer. Your body's going to enjoy it longer. Your family's going to enjoy it longer. So just take those steps to just take care of you.
Yes, because if you're in your 40s now or you're in your 30s now, your 60 and 70-year-old self is going to thank your 40-year-old self because you're doing stuff now to prepare for your 60s and 70s. I saw a 75-year-old woman running hill sprints. She didn't just start getting healthy in her 60s. Yep. That was a lifestyle that she committed to in order to be able to have, access to all of her body parts. It is doable. You got to do the work now in order to have that in the future.
Facts. Nothing but a number.
Nothing but a number. Well, thank you so much. You are radiant. I don't know what your face or your skincare routine is, but if you ever have a product, let me know. We'll have you back on the show to promote. All right. Thank you so much for coming.
All right. Of course.
That concludes our interview with Dr. Aissa McGurl. I hope you learned just as much as I did. Make sure you check the 2 Instagram pages that she mentioned during the show. I will add them to the show notes. We will definitely have to have her back on again, hopefully with better audio. This is Health and Wellness with Coach A.T. Moore. Thanks for watching.